There are a number of great mandala artists out there, and if you can't tell, Christina Lee is one of my favorites. She has enabled us through her Patreon class to recreate some of her patterns and color palettes, like she did with this latest project called The Heart of the Autistic. So here she took an 8 by 8 canvas and expanded it to a 12 by 12. And I'd like to share with you some of the things that I've done to take this same piece and make it my own with just a few little changes here and there. On this inner petal, I noticed that we ended up not using festive green, which was one of the colors we thought we would use for this project. And I really liked it, and I'd already poured it in a paint pot. So once everything was said and done, I assessed some of my empty spaces, and you can see I decided to use festive green here. And it wasn't something Christina had done, but I think it filled the space nicely and still worked with all the other greens she provided. In the outer petals, actually, I messed up. I was painting it way too late and didn't really realize that my second row of pink was supposed to reflect a custom combination of pink flash and orchid flash from the DecoArt Metallics. And by the time I realized it and saw it dry, it was actually drying a little bit too light. So it did not really give the gradient effect that it was supposed to. Then I realized that I had started to dot the third layer with orchid flash instead of pink flash. And so I wasn't going to get that full dark and light to dark gradient that I was supposed to be getting. So I remixed the custom paint and just did a dotting on top of the base. And I did a dotting on top of the orchid flash base as well with my pink flash. And I really like actually the sort of halo effect that that created. Finally, for this last section, I noticed that my dots were placed a lot tighter than Christina's. So when I went to go place the final pastel green dots, I ended up having to go all the way up to a 7 millimeter dot, with the biggest one you can see here at the beginning of this walking of dots, way larger than what Christina had, but I still liked the effect. The other thing I did was I actually added my homage to a catechist, because this piece is going to go to a surgeon. So it's my take on it. Not sure if I got it quite right, but you get the idea. So here's the final piece. I'm calling this one Before and After. I actually started this piece before my recent brachioplasty surgery and finished it while I was recovering. And what I loved about this piece is it means one thing for the original artist, and it means something totally different for me. I noticed that the pale green and gold in the center is rather a muted color tone, but eventually, as it starts to incorporate more and more of the pink flash and orchid flash colors, you can see it just becomes so radiant. Both are beautiful, and the green and the gold are still there, but it's just completely more vibrant, and I think in a way more alive. And that's a reflection of how I'm feeling nowadays. So I hope my plastic surgeon enjoys this piece. Let me know what you think. And as always, thank you so much, Christina Lee, for such beautiful work and great inspiration.